it doesn't matter because it still destabilizes the region further. It still destabilizes Iran further. And the goal here is to keep the Iranian government occupied with whatever they can, because they can't get the Pahlavis to, storm the streets and, I don't know, forcibly take over the government somehow. Anyway, as I said, Piker Broadcasting Service, tomorrow's news today. The CIA is working to arm Kurdish forces with the aim of fomenting a popular uprising in Iran. Multiple people familiar with the plan told CNN. This is literally like word for word what I have been saying for the last couple of days. Like verbatim, not even on some paraphrase shit. The Trump administration has been in active discussion with Iranian opposition groups and Kurdish leaders in Iraq about providing them with military support. This means they're going to send in special forces alongside Kurdish militias. Trump spoke today with the president of the Democratic Party of Iranian Kurdistan, Mustafa Hijri, according to a senior Iranian Kurdish official. KDPI was one of the groups targeted by the IRGC. Iranian Kurdish opposition forces are expected to take part in a ground operation in western Iran in the coming days, the senior Iranian Kurdish official told Clarissa Ward. I told you, there is no popular mobilization that they can push on the ground, so they're going to try to foment sectarian conflict, ethnic conflict. They're going to try and utilize the Iraqi Kurdish forces, some of which will be on board, some of which will not be on board, for the record. That might be why they were cagey about ruling boots on the ground. This kind of operation would likely involve special forces going into Kurdistan. Yes. And then, obviously, Turkey will get involved. Turkey's Fidan calls Iraqi KRG President Barzani after reports emerged that Trump may seek a Kurdish alliance to topple the regime in Iran. Incredible stuff. From Al Jazeera, in a statement, the IRGC said the sites belong to groups it accused of planning to infiltrate Iran and carry out operations inside the country. It's disgusting, dude. What we are doing is disgusting. Let the record show that I'm willing and ready. I understand. Love you. What? Fell for it again. The U.S. left the Kurds that die in Syria like 2 weeks ago. How can any Kurdish group trust them? I mean, the people in here who are sympathetic will turn around and be like, well, what other options do they have? I don't know. If you're Kurdish in Iraq, why the would you entertain this? You already have an autonomous region. Don't say desperation. This is bullshit. Yeah, also, the Kurdish militias did play a major role in the last round of protests. There were videos of them literally doing like assassination missions in their cars and shit. It's the American CIA's the American CIA's most valuable tool in the region. Here we go. During the previous coup attempt, Turkey helped IRGC in killing PJAK. If, let's say, Kurds manage to topple the IRGC and the regime, what do you think happens next? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's going to be a shit ton of violence. Ground forces are going to get mobilized. America is going to keep playing those videos over and over again. They're going to have aerial support from America and Israel. Ground forces will be presented as popular mobilization of real Iranians, even though they're not even Iranians. Half of them are going to be embedded with special forces, like American troops, embedded amongst the Kurdish militias coming in from Iraq. There's going to be a shit ton of mobilization, fighting on the ground. America doesn't want to deploy their own troops directly. They're too pussy to do so. So they're just going to force the Kurds to go in, or not even force the Kurds, urge the Kurds to go in. And then Turkey's going to come in and bomb everyone and create another protective zone in their western border. I mean, in their eastern border, sorry. In the Iranian northwestern border. It's literally Syria. It's Syria. How is that good for the Iranian Kurds? There is a significant, in both cases, the Kurds have no choice. It's like getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. There's a significant Kurdish population in Iran. Stop playing it. Okay, dude. Yes, there's real mobilization happening amongst the Iranian Kurds. They're all, this is their opportunity. They had no other options. It'll go the way of Rojava if the Kurds are even lucky. Great. At the end of the day, you're looking at the Kurds getting by Turkey, okay? I know they don't want to fight the regime. That's why I said it's going to be the Iraqi militias. Do they know what fires they are unleashing? If the Kurds agree to this, it will have major consequences. The Turks will almost certainly intervene, at first with airstrikes and then with ground forces. They might even get a direct conflict with Israel, who they now see as power bent on regional hegemony. The Iranian army will be deployed in the Kurdish region to counter these proxies. The ground war is unlikely to remain confined to the region, with Shia militias from Iraq joining the fight. It may spread much further than people and drive away. Even if the proxies backed by U.S.-Israeli air power manage to push back the Iranian ground forces and survive Turkish pressure, that will not destabilize the regime in Tehran. It will create a breakaway province under Israeli influence. The Iranians will come back later to reclaim their territory, setting the stage for persistent conflict. That is the most sober assessment, and that is precisely what Israel is looking for. Israel wants to do a carve-out region for the Kurds that is semi-autonomous, so that they can basically use it like a fleshlight. And even if it does not work, okay, it doesn't matter, because it still destabilizes the region further. It still destabilizes Iran further. And the goal here is to keep the Iranian government occupied with whatever they can, because they can't get the Pahlavis to, storm the streets and, I don't know, forcibly take over the government somehow. Why is it leaking, though, that they're working with the CIA? What do you mean? Well, one, because this stuff is not even as sophisticated as it used to be. They don't even try that hard. Because there's also no democratic process as well. I'm just telling you ahead of time exactly what's going to happen. And then when it happens, you're still going to see a shit ton of people in my chat being like, oh, Turkish guy, classic. You hate the Kurds. Oh, classic Turkish guy doesn't want Kurdish autonomy. What's next? And then a couple of years after the fact, when, the dust is settled and Turkey has created a prefecture that is like also semi-autonomous as like a border region in between the Iranian border, inside of Iranian boundaries, slammed to the ass cheeks of the Turkish state. Everyone will go, how could this have happened? Oh my God, look, America betrayed the Kurds again. That's crazy. Iran doesn't need to fire a single missile at a U.S. soldier. It just needs to destroy a water factory. The GCC has no natural fresh water, 60% comes from... Okay, dude. How do we stop it? There is no way to stop it. Dude, you've been completely dismissive of every single person who's directly affected by this in the region. Like, their feelings are complicated. You're being an asshole, acting like they're stupid for not being as reflexively anti-American as you. Me. My feelings. It's a complex matter. My feelings. Why don't you care about my feelings when talking about the grand design of American empire and all of the tens of thousands killed in the process and the tens of millions displaced in the process? Why don't you care about my feelings? I don't know. Why don't you care about what America is already doing and will continue to do as I'm describing it? At this point, if you're more mad about the tone I'm taking, a stern tone I'm taking, rather than the imminent collapse of a country with 93 million people, I don't know what they can tell you. Lock in. Yeah, it's a complex matter. What America's doing is wrong, but it doesn't change how it affects them. Yeah, it's going to change how it affects them when America blows them up.
Liberal. Happy fun, la la la. Human smuggling, fentanyl deaths. Forced government euthanasia, chopping up children's genitals, la 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 la.
So what? Does the Middle East just completely collapse now and plunge into another decades-long streak of violence? What's going to happen now? Yes, if America and Israel get their wishes across, there's only two options out of this. If Iran punishes Israel hard enough and American assets hard enough that Donald Trump has to back away and keep the government intact, and I know that a lot of people are not fond of the IRGC, and therefore they're going to get mad when I say this, that is the least bad option out of all of the horrifyingly bad options. Okay? That is the only, stable option here. Every other option is collapse of the Iranian state, tens of millions displaced, maybe hundreds of thousands killed in the process. This massive country falls into ethnic conflict, totally geared up by Israel and America, and they're literally saying it. They're not hiding it. They're like, we are going to utilize the Kurdish militias as a base for a popular mobilization because we don't have the actual popular mobilization. And the reverberations and the impact of these decisions will be felt all across the globe, specifically in Europe as well. Another influx of refugees to Europe. And the Iranians living in diaspora will very quickly realize that no one actually sees them as Aryans. And instead, totally sees them as a cancerous scourge upon the Western civilization as they demand that they get deported. There's also the option in this process as well. In the war of attrition, if Israel feels like they've completely lost, their batteries have been depleted and they're completely failing to defend the Israeli state, there's also that deterrence. Because like at the end of the day, there's an escalation ladder, right? And Israel is an armed nation state. And so is the United States of America. The only thing that has kept the escalation at bay is that there are other armed nations. Worse option takes place. It's either Donald Trump or Israel deploys a tactical nuke in Iran to put an end to everything else. The next day, I think Russia would nuke Lviv and just, completely, slowly but surely piece up the Eastern Bloc under the Russian Federation. We are living in a very different world at that point. Why Lviv? I don't know. I just like saying Lviv because Kiev is like too, Kiev is too important, I think. In the past, this kind of posture was stopped because the USSR would threaten to use them, okay? That's the other thing. She and her Nazi son who runs the account of the worst Paladinos. They bring shame to my family name. Look at this freak. Palladino's son lands himself in controversy. In the past, the USSR would threaten nukes if America did certain things. Nowadays, I feel like all of the armed states are way more focused on their own personal ambitions. So who knows? I'm not saying that's likely to happen, by the way. I'm not saying that nukes will be launched. I'm just simply stating that that is the worst possible option, okay? I wasn't saying that that's likely to happen. I'm just saying that if you're asking me what the worst option is, that's the worst option. Signs that the policy will be ethnic fragmentation and civil war. Israel will love this. The region, the global economy, American interests, the people of Iran, and that many countries dealing in the new refugee flows will not. Yes. It's so crazy that they're just like openly stating what their desire is. They're not hiding it. They're just straight up saying it. We've been told by Kurdish sources that the American and Israeli forces have been asked to provide air cover when any such ground operation begins. Our sources do not know if that request has been approved. Weapons have been smuggled into Western Iran since last year to arm thousands of Kurdish volunteers. They are expected to begin ground operations within days. This comes as Trump spoke with Kurdish leaders in Iraq on Sunday to discuss what might come next. Yeah, since last year, weapons have been smuggled into Western Iran to arm thousands of Kurdish volunteers. They're expected to begin a ground operation within days, according to ITV News. The very fact that we're talking about a chain of command that would possibly stop with a general mutiny before a nuke is launched is insane. It's totally Cold War era posturing with no power that's like seemingly threatening mutual assured destruction. Yeah, it sounds like they're just going to brute force a premature uprising and just run with it as far as it goes. I've been saying this for the past couple of days, and now those plans are coming to the forefront. If they had a true popular base that could mobilize in the direction of Reza Pahlavi, they wouldn't do this. But because they don't have that, they're just winging it. Still, any U.S. and Israeli support for a Kurdish group, Kurdish ground force tasked with helping to dislodge the Iranian regime would need to be extensive, the people familiar with the matter said. They will send American special forces alongside the Kurdish militias, by the way. The people familiar with the matter said the U.S. intelligence estimates have consistently indicated that the Iranian Kurds don't currently have the influence or resources to bolster a successful uprising against the government, said one of the people. This is code for a lot of the Iranian Kurds don't want to fucking do this. For the record, there are some, clearly, because they did like targeted assassinations during the protests that were taking place. If you were paying close attention to what was going on inside of Iran, there's that famous video where there's like a police chief that's in his car, and then two guys, one with a hand cam, one with a fucking AK-47, roll up to the car and start spraying it. And then the car, obviously, they like end up assassinating the police chief in the region. That is, those are some of the guys that are invested in being used as a destabilizing force inside of Iran. Anyway, And Iranian Kurdish parties are looking for political assurances from the Trump administration before committing to join any resistance effort, according to a source familiar with the matter. Bomb Turkey, deport Hasan. Bomb Turkey, deport Hasan. Bomb Turkey, deport Hasan. The Amer-Israeli Fats have only one speed. They're just like, we got to bomb something and we got to deport someone, you know? Yeah, bomb a NATO country. Oh, also, yes, Turkey's pro-Kurdish Dem Party criticized the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran, saying it opposed external designs on the country. There's also that. So not all of the Kurdish forces are in line with this, especially so close to what America did with Rojava. But then again, you know, they need some hands and they got it, right? Yes, I know Jon Stewart doesn't get it. I know, because at the end of the day, Jon Stewart is an American. Scoop, a suspected Iranian drone attack Arabia in what would amount to a significant symbolic victory for the Islamic Republic. I covered this already. The U.S. and Saudi governments confirmed that 2 drones hit the U.S. Embassy's complex in Riyadh on Monday, but did not disclose that America's spy hub was hit in the attack. An internal State Department alert obtained by the Post said the attack collapsed part of the embassy's roof and contaminated the inside with smoke. The notice said the embassy sustained structural damage and personnel continue to shelter in place. While the attack amounts to a minor setback for the spy agency's presence in Saudi Arabia, it may find significance to an embattled regime that has long viewed the CIA as the ultimate foe, given Washington's covert support for the 1953 military coup that ousted Iran's elected prime minister. CIA station in Saudi capital hit in drone attack with Ellen Nakashima, SEC reporter for the Post. I obviously was a child when the machinations of 2003 were set in motion, but I did a lot of reading at the time, right? About, you know, things that unfolded. I was paying attention, but I was like 12, 13, 14, living in Turkey. But I don't understand like how overt it is. Like I don't think, and I'm sure there's like older people in here, but I don't think it was this like transparent when they, you know, in the build up to 2003.
Calling on President Trump today. Join Israel to attack Hezbollah. Avenge the Marines. America never forgets. Those 220 Marines and 18 sailors' families, we want to go after the infrastructure that killed your loved ones. There are IRGC assets in Beirut as I speak. President Trump, come up with a new operation called Simplify. Fly with Israel and go after Hezbollah, who has American blood on its hands. Not only take the mothership of Iran down, also take the proxy of Hezbollah, settle the score, even the account.
Is there a fucking Israel-backed war that this man will not get on board with? Like, his appetite, his bloodlust is unlimited, it seems. It's crazy. Why don't you go die for Israel, man? What the fuck is this shit? It's mind-boggling. What argument should I give someone who invokes the way women are treated in Iran and the Middle East to support their Islamophobic sentiment? Please, I need to know. Ask them if you know, blowing up women is somehow their salvation, is leading to their salvation. It's the same shit, man. You should be well equipped by now. They did the same thing with Hamas. They were like, Hamas is anti-LGBT, Hamas is anti-women. Considering that the targets are still, you know, of Muslim origin, and the victims are also of Muslim origin, of Muslim background, it's the same fucking propaganda that they're deploying. It's the same talking points, and the counters are still the same. Ask them how you're killing women feministly. I always just say, imagine you have a neighbor who's a bit of a dick and bigoted. Would you go over to his house and shoot him dead for that? Yeah. Is he talking about the 1983 bombings? Yes, he is. Because that's how little they have. Like, that's how little they have in terms of building propaganda against Iran, that they're literally going back to 1983, the bombing of the barracks. I want justice, man. I want to shed this government of the unlimited pro-Israel brain rot that it has. I want justice. It's crazy. They're not even doing a good enough job. The people don't want this. I don't know what else to say other than this sucks. You know, it just, like, I think people are aware of it.
What are the Iranian, what will the Iranian government do? What will the Ayatollahs do? Well, they have one play and one play only. One play. And that is they are counting on the Cuck coalition. They are counting on the lying left in the United States and the horseshoe right to undermine the United States and Israel right here. That is the entire game. That's the entire game. Try to
Send Ben Shapiro to the front lines once again. Send Ben Shapiro to the front lines. Send Ben Shapiro to the front lines, dude.
Draw domestic support for the operation. Now, again, that's nothing new. That's not just a thing that's happening right now and it's unique and this is some sort of crazy claim. Our military enemies always, invariably count on their use.
Bro, you're literally Jewish. You love Israel so much. You can go live there. You can join the IDF. I don't understand. Like, what is happening? It's not like there are only benefits. Okay? There are only benefits. Go join the IDF. There are so many amenities that the state offers for you to do Aliyah. Do Aliyah, Ben. What are we doing? I don't get it.
Useful allies and useful idiots to push their agenda. The Germans, in the lead up to World War II, counted on the American Bund, and they celebrated as the Lindbergh Right gained credibility in the United States. They deployed Lord Haw Haw against the Brits. The Japanese activated Tokyo Rose to undermine American combat morale during World War II. The Viet Cong, who lost on the battlefield, counted on the American legacy media to convince Americans to abandon our victories in Vietnam. The KGB, the NKVD before that, they routinely utilized idiots in the United States to spread their propaganda, going all the way back.
Yeah. Every American that's against this action is actually a foreign actor, but not Ben, who very clearly has openly stated his desires of being Israel first. Ben is not a foreign actor. That's what's so funny about this. Like, he literally is putting the interests of a foreign state and their ambitions over the interests of American citizens, while simultaneously having the audacity to make it seem like anyone else that goes, I don't want to go fucking fight for Israel. I don't want my tax dollars going to fucking Israel's expansionist goals. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, you must be a foreign actor. You must love the IRGC. You must be a KGB asset. It's so insane. At least in other conflicts, it was like directly American imperialism. So you could make a better argument. Oh, you must be a Soviet agent or whatever. In this circumstance, the foreign actor is you. What are you talking about?
Back to the New York Times in the early part of the 1930s with Walter Duranty. Even Baghdad Bob tried to tell the American public everything was fine in Iraq while Saddam Hussein was falling. Bizarre confluence of the lying left, Democrats who protest that we're not winning, that we can't possibly win, there's no way we can win, and the horseshoe right.
Not just a foreign actor, an idiot. I mean, an idiotic foreign actor, but 100%.
Conspiracy theorists, morons, isolationists, anti-American devotees of Bernie Sanders' foreign policy. That's the stuff the Ayatollahs are counting on.
Yeah, this is the same as like 2003. If you were anti-Iraq war, they called you a terrorist. Except the difference is back then, the overwhelming majority of Americans were in support of this. They were hopped up on like the 9/11, like the residual anger that they felt towards 9/11. They were on a vengeance quest. You know what I mean? But now the overwhelming majorities are not on the side of going to war for Israel. So as a matter of fact, they're still trying to do the same propaganda, but this time it's very clear who the fucking foreign actor is. It's very clear who's placing the interests of a foreign state in the against the interests of domestic needs. That's what's so funny about it.
What
to claim not wanting to die for Israel is it's hilarious with this very Israel first propagandist to claim not wanting to die for Israel is foreign state propaganda.
are the Iranian? What will the
It's so over for these dudes, but it doesn't matter. The real problem here is democracy. There is no real democratic process. You see what I mean? Like, the American foreign policy does not operate in this democratic manner.
We have a Secretary of War that has crusader tattoos. He says, fuck around and find out. And they're bombing people. And yeah, it's going to happen, guys. Sorry to say. Until they're all gone? Absolutely. I think that a lot of people... I think that the peacetime that we've experienced for such a long time has really kind of made people soft to the
Dude never leaves his house. He is literally talking about those who are significantly less fortunate than him going out and dying for Israel. Okay? He is trying to package this as like, oh, we were just a soft nation. Now we're a hard nation. Okay, you go to the fucking front lines then. Draft Asmongold. Send Asmongold to the front lines. What the fuck do you mean we're a soft nation? You would perish if you didn't get your fucking Dr. Pepper and chicken nuggets one day. And you're over here talking about we're a soft nation. We're going to be hard again.
Of just mass killing people. It works amazingly well. Trust me. If you look at the history books, you will see that mass killing people works really, really fucking well. Every single time it's worked. So every page, every chapter, every story is based off of that every single time. And again, this is not an alternative that you can have peace to. This is an alternative that you can have a perpetual ongoing war that costs the lives of thousands of people, or you can for once put a stop to it, or at least try to put a stop to it and improve things. That's it.
Dude, it's getting, in my opinion, to do this kind of like Israel first propaganda, but from an American first perspective. He's trying. He's still trying his best.
You can't say you can't say the truth like that, bro. Yeah, you can't say that, guys. That's it. And that's not going to crash out over this one. No, I'm telling you, it didn't work for Hitler. My grandpa wiped out 500 Nazis. Well, yeah, because the entire world like turned against them and he totally fucked up. Like, that's the reason why. And Hitler also did take over a lot of Europe. Like, what are you talking about?
Wait,
Hitler
what?
was massively powerful, and it took the entire world turning against him to stop that, and then him going to fucking Russia and then killing his army in the fucking Russian winter. Like, what are we talking about?
Is there any way to read this other than pro-Hitler? I'm a little bit confused.
Some dumbass argument. If you kill your enemy's moral spawn, Naruto brains need to be banned. Yeah, I know. But you'll see what happens. You will.
He's on the side of modern day Hitler, which is Israel, while simultaneously also on the side of old Hitler, Adolf Hitler. Very cool. Pro-Hitler, Nazi gold, and Twitch has yet to take action. At least he's consistent about his love of Hitler. Yeah, he hasn't left his house in years. What a weak indoors man, proper incel. I know, but there are a lot of people in his audience. Well, the non-bots, basically. There are a lot of Euroids in his audience who also never leave their homes and think that when America is force projecting like this, that somehow makes them powerful as well. Oh, also, this is really funny. Israeli TV whines about Secretary of State Marco Rubio giving the game away by confirming the war in Iran is for Israel.
Meanwhile, Marco Rubio, and possibly the most damaging comment for Israel yesterday, said that the Israelis were planning an attack, and the Americans felt that if they didn't preemptively strike Iran, that the Americans would be hit as a result of Israel's strike on Iran, which puts Israel in a really tough spot right now, and Israel supporters.
Oh, dude, fuck, man. Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I? Guys, I know we're giving everything to the beautiful nation state of Israel, but have you considered the beautiful nation state of Israel's feelings? Shit, man. I can't believe we put Israel in a tight spot again while simultaneously doing everything. That Israel wants all the time, unconditionally.
Here at home, essentially being used as fodder by Israel critics to say that Jerusalem is controlling Washington's foreign policy. So a real messaging issue right now. Meanwhile,
real messaging issue. Chris Murphy, this is as serious as it gets. Oh shit, what are they leaking?
Serious as it gets. This is war and peace. They told us in that room that there are going to be more Americans that are going to die, that they are not in the short run going to be able to stop these drones that are going to continue to fly into the Middle East. We have to have a debate in the United States Senate on an authorization of military force. It will likely fail. And we shouldn't be voting to proceed to other pieces of legislation until we get a debate on this deeply unpopular, immoral, and illegal war with Iran. Senate.
Oof. Senator Richard Blumenthal, after the briefing on Iran, said, I just want to say I'm more fearful than ever that this briefing, that we may be putting boots on the ground. We are putting boots on the ground. It's going to be first special forces, though.
I am more fearful than ever after this briefing that we may be putting boots on the ground, and that troops from the United States may be necessary to accomplish objectives that the administration seems to have. But
this guy is also super pro-Israel, by the way.
I also am no more clear on what the priorities are going to be of the administration going forward, whether it is destroying the nuclear capacity of Iran, or simply the missiles, or regime change, or stopping terrorist activities. And I think the administration owes it to the American people to have briefings not just for members of Congress, but for the American public. Nothing here should have been classified. I just want to say,
Ruben Gallego is super pro-Israel and has been weirdly anti this war. Yeah, because he's reading the writing on the wall, man. What is this? Oh my God. Stop. Hasan, I don't agree with everything you say, but most of it, I just want to say thank you for covering this so much. It's like the only way to get real information, as it's poorly covered in Sweden. Don't worry, brother. It's poorly covered in America too, okay? It's not just poorly covered in Sweden. It's poorly covered in America too. An INS Israel poll found 81% of Israelis support the strikes on Iran, 96% of those who voted for the current government, and 63% believe they should continue until the Iranian regime is overthrown. If you want to understand where the popular support is, well, you have it. It's in fucking Israel. We are there is no popular support for this in America, but there is, however, popular support for this in Israel. Also, I can't even quote retweet this because Lahav Harkov, senior political correspondent for Jewish Insider in Israel, has blocked me. Anyway, every day that goes by, I am more and more angry at Joe Biden for not fucking putting an end to this. It is unbearable.
Compound of the group that chooses the new supreme leader. I'm being told that I've got a guest standing by for me. Michael Knights is head of research with Horizon Engage. He specializes in the military and security affairs of Iraq, Iran, and the Gulf states. I'm going to get you, because that is our latest, very latest news into CNN, just get you to respond to what you've just heard me report there.
It's really nice to hear your London accent, Becky. So thank you very much for staying at your post during this. Hitting of the Assembly of Experts building without actually killing large numbers of those officials, if that's what's happened, and it seems to be the case, indicates that the Israelis probably did what they call a roof knock on the location before they struck it, which means they were trying to disrupt the process of electing a new speaker or appointing a new supreme leader, and warning those involved to stay dispersed, but without trying to actually kill a large number of the most senior clerics in Iran at the same time.
Michael, that's fascinating. How much longer can Tehran realistically sustain this pace of attacks without depleting key capabilities or risk a far more punishing response? And let's remind ourselves, caveat, Donald Trump told my colleague CNN's Jake Tapper yesterday that we are yet to see the big wave, as he described it.
I think both sides have still got some escalation options in reserve. The Iranians have not at this point hit upstream energy in the nation, leadership, and they've stayed away from some other civilian targets. Right now, the US has not gone for providing very strong support to Iranian opposition elements within the country, and they still have some options in terms of further escalation against regime security targets. So, right now we're at the point where the Iranians basically can survive. The Iranian regime can survive at this point. It can probably hang on for a couple of more weeks. The question is whether anybody's going to try a lot harder to give it a push over the edge. The Israelis want the regime to fall. The US, within the next week or two, might decide that just disarming the regime is good enough.
I'm in the Gulf region, so I do want to keep this front and center in our reporting because it's important. We have seen this.
B-2 bombings on Iran ongoing. Two officials say B-2 stealth bombers have been targeting command and control nodes of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as well as weapons depots and an assembly facility for Iran's rocket program. Operations are ongoing now. Why the fuck didn't they hit that from the start? I don't know if they know exactly where these places are. I'll be honest. This is the only way that they can effectively cripple the Iranian missile launchers, for the record. It's very expensive. It's not a guarantee that it reaches. It's not a guarantee that it reaches at all. And I will say that they probably should have done this from the start if they actually wanted to successfully stop the bombing or stop the Iranian missile program. And the reason why they didn't do it is because I don't think they know where it is. That's why they were trying out different options. And this is more so just a posture. At most, the only thing. So here's what U.S. targeting does. Okay. And the reason why it's like very difficult for them to stop and hinder the Iranian missile strike operations. They can close off the entrances. Okay. That's all they can do, because the Iranian missile silos, the Iranian missile production facilities, and the Iranian missile launchers are all deep underground. They're literally under a network of massive tunnels that are embedded on the side of fucking mountains. America knows this. Don't say shush. America obviously knows this. What are you, fucking crazy? Of course they know all of this shit. It is inside of mountains. It's underneath mountains. So the only thing they can do is locate the entrance points and try to collapse the entrance points, aside from directly targeting the technicals and the single-use launchers that they have. So that's what they've been doing. They keep peppering people. They do double strikes, like double tap strikes on the launchers, so they can kill if they catch one while it's launching. All they can do is blow up the launcher and blow up the people that are in the launcher as they're escaping, with the hopes that there aren't, more soldiers in the IRGC that can go out with a new launcher and launch missiles all again. Not only is Iran a massive country, but Iran is also a very mountainous country. It's a very mountainous region. So imagine if it was instead of the Taliban or Al Qaeda in the mountainside, using small arms to take pot shots. It's basically like missile launchers instead on the side of those fucking mountains. So the B-2 stealth bombers, I think B-2. It's back now. Yeah, it went all the way down and it's back again. But for some reason, hello? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I'm back. I don't know what's going on with my internet today. It's pretty fucking crazy, but it just keeps getting nuked over and over again. It's very consistent though, because once it goes out, it comes back like it never went away. I don't know. The Mossad is out for your ass? I don't think so. I don't think it's that. But I'm back. Anyway, what I was talking about initially is if they utilized B-2 bombers in the first sortie, which I think they did, 4 of them to be exact, they flew in and they flew back. That means that they weren't able to successfully diminish Iran's launching capability, considering that Iran, since the first day, has been pummeling, absolutely fucking nuking the Gulf states. And not only has it been pummeling the Gulf states, but Iran has also been successfully pummeling Tel Aviv, which means that there is very limited success as far as the B-2 bombing campaigns. They might try again, this time with additional information, because it's been a couple days. They know exactly where the launchers are. But at most, the entirety of the Iranian missile production and missile launching systems are designed around this. Just as the Iranian government already had a contingency plan in motion for a decapitation strike, they obviously also have a contingency plan in motion, or not a contingency plan, but they've hardened their defenses specifically for this, so that they can continue digging themselves out of these bombing campaigns, and then going back and continuously bombing their enemies over and over again. Okay? Sorry, I'm maintaining eye contact and also flipping to this camera because at this time of the day, there's too much light. Are you going to watch Chunk Yogurt with Glenn Greenwald on stream tonight? Probably not. Okay. Iran has launched the 3rd ballistic missile salvo towards Israel in the last hour. This was in 2:13, 30 minutes ago. Targeting Haifa and Eilat. IRGC says they've struck 10 oil tankers in Hormuz since the start of the war. Gulf countries are using more interceptors daily than the U.S. produces annually. Holy shit. Hezbollah carried 13 operations today, including targeting 5 different Merkavas in a matter of 6 hours. Their drones reached Haifa and they bombed Tel Aviv, Haifa, and the occupied Golan with rockets. Iranian drones targeted the Baghdad airport. The greatest The greatest opportunity here for Israel is that it's just not closer to fucking Yemen, because if it was, oh my God, they'd be also getting in on the fun. They are, from what I understand, they are also trying to join the bombing campaign. American destroyer hit by Qatar 380 and Taliyeh missiles. In a statement, number 19, a True Promise 4 operation has stated, the naval missile operation of the IRGC against a strategic U.S. target at a depth of over 600 kilometers in the Indian Ocean was carried out with a powerful strike. In a series of actions, a prominent American destroyer refueling from an American tanker ship 650 kilometers off the coast of Iran in the Indian Ocean was hit by a Qatar 380. According to intelligence reports, following a massive fire on the deck of the two ships, the sky of the ocean became dark and smoky. Oh, and if you're wondering, I guess, I mean, this is too long about Hezbollah's ambitions or motivations for joining this iteration of the war. Qadir, not Qadar. Oh, my bad. First, the context from November 2024 to March 2026, Lebanon lived through what I would call a ceasefire warfare, a new U.S.-backed model of managed war, as Israel called it, a dynamic truce, which it used as cover for continued aerial strikes, assassinations, occupations of 5 strategic points, over 15,000 violations, 400 plus killed, kidnappings, and blocked reconstruction. In short, Israel used the ceasefire to achieve what it failed to do during the actual 2-month war. The goal was not just to weaken the Hezbollah militarily, but to erase the conditions that produce resistance, while a weak and servile Lebanese government that neither recognized nor defended South Lebanon looked on and tried to delegitimize and constrain Hezbollah's resistance activity. All of this is true. It is worth establishing from the outset that Hezbollah's decision to participate in the war was not primarily about supporting Iran strategically, nor even about ideological solidarity after Khamenei's assassination. Iran has been, oh my God, this guy keeps asking about America diverging from Israel since yesterday, literally nonstop. And I have already answered this person's question, by the way. Like, not only have I answered this person's question, but I've also answered the exact same question that's been asked 1,000,000 times over. Okay? America doesn't mind that Israel is a violent fucking entity in the region. America doesn't mind Israel advancing its Greater Israel project. Okay? It doesn't. However, at times, Israel steps out of the confines of what America's strategic interests might be in the region. Sometimes Israel even blows up an American naval asset, for example, like USS Liberty. But because Israel is important to the United States of America's needs in the region, at least especially the time during USS Liberty and still to the at this point in time as well, America lets Israel do whatever the fuck it wants. Nowadays, Israel has become much more ambitious with its goals overall, okay? And what America could do with Iran is very different than what Israel wants out of Iran, okay? If America wanted to chip away at the regional power that Iran has, well, it's already basically destroyed its fucking proxies. It's a much more weakened state for Iran right now as a regional power. Main problem for Israel is the Iranian ballistic missiles program. Main problem for America is Iran being a regional power. They could just get assurances from Iran and allow ease of sanctions on Iran and have and normalize relationships with Iran. Israel doesn't want that. Okay? Israel does not want that. This is where the interests diverge. For America's perspective, it's much easier to just simply negotiate with Iran, engage in diplomacy, and, allow Iran to exist in the region, as they have done so in the past, like with the JCPOA. The reason why Donald Trump is against that is not because he has like some special smoke for Iran or whatever. That's the reason why they can't even come up with like a good enough reason to why we're blowing up Iran right now. That's why they have to go back to 1980. Well, Iran helps Hezbollah, and Hezbollah blew up our barracks in 1983. There's no good reason. There's no real revenge here. Okay, that's why they lie and say that like Iran actually is the inventor of roadside bombs or whatever. It's all bullshit. Do you understand? Is that helpful? America could deal with Iran in a much different way But it won't because Israel doesn't want it to. And this is the most Israel compromised administration that we've ever experienced. This is approximately the 54th time that I've described this, by the way, in great detail. Just pointing out real weird shit. I'm a big consumer of your content via clips of you. But since the attack started, I need like 4 to 5 refresh before getting recent content, crazy stuff. Not sure if shadow banned or algo tweaking. No, TikTok is absolutely fucking limiting the reach of anyone that's talking about this shit for sure. 100%, myself included. TikTok is totally fucked if that's what you're asking. They are throttling the living shit out of anyone that speaks out against the Amer-Israeli years of lead Ellison talk. Iran's state-run Tasnim news agency claiming that a U.S. F-15 fighter jet has been shot down by the country's air defense. No confirmation yet. Urgent. A source familiar with Tasnim. Another American F-15 was shot down. Whoa. This would call into question the previous F-15s falling to friendly fire. If Iran was capable of taking out another F-15, we will find out soon enough if that's the case, by the way, because the other ones fell on Kuwaiti soil. Remember, the 3 F-15s that fell, they turned around and said, oh, it's actually the Kuwaiti air defenses, our air defenses in Kuwait that actually took these out in a friendly fire incident. If a 4th one also fell, and especially if it fell not on Kuwaiti soil, but like somewhere where it is recoverable, or if there's like footage of the operation, this will show us whether or not the previous 3 F-15s fell in a friendly fire incident, or if Iranians actually blew it up, which is huge. They're like $80 million a pop, but also up until this last quote unquote friendly fire incident over Kuwait, F-15s had an unbeatable record. I think they have no downings during combat, right? The F-15s up until this it had an untouched record, 110 million. Nice. Seems unlikely since the F-15s have been in service for like a long time. Those only count for air to air. That's just cope. Bro, the F-15 was shot down near Abadan. IRGC has airport nearby, 70 kilometers from Kuwait. F-15 has 0 losses in aerial combat. So they have been downed. So ground to air hits have happened on F-15s before. Yes, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced that they struck a Navy U.S. destroyer more than 600 kilometers off the Iranian coast in the Indian Ocean. Okay? With a Qadar 380. Or Qadir? However you say it. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. Statement claimed the vessel was hit while refueling from a U.S. tanker, triggering a massive fire on both ships. Taking out THAAD battery systems too, estimated at 1 billion. Something over 1 billion lost here. Breaking, Iran struck both UAE THAAD missile defense radar sites. The UAE operates 2 THAAD batteries, each equipped with 1 ANTPY-2 radar detected locations. In recent years, the radars were typically parked just outside their hangars during peacetime. Site 1, prior satellite imagery shows radar components positioned outside the hangar in their usual location. Post-strike imagery shows debris in the same spot, suggesting the ANTPY-2 was likely destroyed. Site 2, low-resolution imagery shows at least 2 direct hits, one on the radar hangar and another one on the support hangar. However, older 2025 imagery indicates that the radar was sometimes parked several meters away on the left side of the large hangar, making the exact loss status unclear. Assessment. Both sites were likely hit. Site 2 clearly sustained damage, while Site 1's radar loss is likely but not fully confirmed. Meanwhile, it's been really interesting watching the UAE and all the Gulf states do propaganda about how fucking awesome it is to live there and how protected they are. There was a... Have you guys seen those posts from like influencers living in the Gulf states? There was a Twitter thread with them. Can someone link it to me if you have it? Footage showing damage in Bnei Barak, east of Tel Aviv. Breaking, fragmentation munition impact reported in Bnei Barak. Fires reported in central Israel. Israeli and Iranian Telegram channel shared footage showing damage in Bnei Barak, east of Tel Aviv, after what Iranian RGC affiliated media described as an Iranian fragmentation munition impact in the city. Separate videos circulated online show fires burning in what was reported as central Israel following the impact. It was not immediately clear whether the fires or the reporter strike refer to the same. Damn. New CIA evacuating post within Iranian missile strike. Oh no. CIA evacuating post. Dude, what the fuck? CIA evacuating post within Iranian missile range after drone strike hits Riyadh station. A suspected Iranian drone strike hit the CIA station inside the U.S. Embassy compound in Riyadh. According to people familiar with the incident, the Washington Post reports. Yeah, we covered this already. So these have to be paid promotion, right? But my favorite is the ones where they do it with the UAE. They always play the same video on loop, which is really funny. I don't know why they just show MBS fixing his arm. Are you ready for the Dubai one? This is going to fucking blow your mind. In a country built on security, stability, and strong leaders. Using his Stromae about how his father abandoned him or something, right? Isn't that what it is? Those who moved to Dubai for tax shelter are searching for bomb shelters tonight. They say we're searching for bomb. The truth. I'm watching a city that feels safer than most, even on a bad day. It isn't about escaping taxes or our talent shines the brightest. This is ChatGPT. My passport is Indian. My heart is Indian. But my growth is... His father was killed in genocide. Not abandoned. Okay, more.
Dubai is literally the only place in the world where if there is like bombs and drones flying over, you still feel safe. It's so crazy. Like I moved there 3 months ago, and obviously we've all seen what's going on here. But I moved here three months ago officially, and so many people around me are texting me like, "Hey, are you safe? Is everything okay? Don't you want to go back home? Don't you want to move?" I can't go back like to the Netherlands or Europe right now anyway because the airport is closed. But I literally didn't think about it for a second. Obviously, it's quite scary, and I've never experienced something like this before. But for some reason, like in Dubai, you just know shit is sorted. You know things are organized. There have been like 200 drones and I think like around 200 missiles being intercepted, and there have been a couple of small things happening as a result from that. But
yeah, no, dog, that's bullshit. Also, look, I know the Qataris are going to get mad at me for saying this because they've also the state has also been doing the same thing as the rest of the GCC, but they have been claiming insanity. Okay. Every state in the Gulf has claimed that they have intercepted like nuclear ballistic missiles, like they're like, oh yeah, we've actually taken out multiple Iranian aircraft, 1,000 drones. Like the numbers are insane. Okay, and it's funny because you see the videos. You see the fucking videos and it's like, well, okay, I don't think they're intercepting any of the missiles at all.
Other than that, like we're all safe, life goes on. Everything is going great here. I just stay inside for today, maybe tomorrow as well. But I think it's been handled really perfect by the government and the army.
For asking if everyone in Dubai is okay, see for yourself. Flip, god damn it, where's the phone flip? Iran is dropping bombs on UAE, aren't you scared? Why is this the coolest? Dude, I don't know why. I watched so many videos of this one fucking phone flip. It's amazing. I don't know why they chose to use that video, but it's fucking hilarious. The aura farming phone flip. And there's so many more. There are so many of them. Of course, the UAE is in full domestic narrative control mode right now. UAE authorities warn sharing or reposting unverified content online can lead to legal action. For those of you who don't know, in Dubai, you can't literally say anything bad about the UAE or Israel. For those of you who don't know, you genuinely cannot even shit talk Israel in Dubai. Like you can get in trouble for that. Just true freedom, absolute freedom. Like it's the worst. Okay. Anyway, but you got to see this more. All the videos I've shared here were posted in the last 24 hours, so it's very clearly a manufactured trend. Most videos... No, because I know... Look at that phone flip. He's aura farming! It's just... The phone flip is the best. It's the peak. Like, look at the way he fucking flipped that phone. Where did they find this video? Where did they find this video? Why is this video the one that they... You're not ready for this phone flip? Oh, this one is the best one, of course. I'm obsessed with this video, the perfect encapsulation of everything evil about Dubai. I'm so thankful this exact person posted this exact video as a Dubai propaganda right now. Ian Miles wrong, ladies and gentlemen. He wanted to let you know, contrary to everyone's elation, he is doing fine in Dubai. Let's take a look. Your anti-Zionist mob banned me yesterday for hurting IDF's feelings. God forbid you hurt baby killers' feelings. Okay, well, now I'm banning you, okay? I don't want to hear any disrespect against my moderation team, you motherfuckers. You understand me? Dial it the fuck back. Ian, it's 3 a.m. in Dubai Club right now. In a Dubai Club right now, and the place is alive. You can't beat this city. He's so chopped. It's crazy. He's unbelievably he might be the most chopped man in the world. The loudest panic about Dubai is coming from people who live in countries that can't even manage basic infrastructure. 600 plus missiles and drones intercepted. No collapse, no chaos, no drama. When you're used to corruption, you assume disaster is normal. We're blessed to live in a place where that's just the norm. Now, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I don't think normal civilians should have to live in fear that they're going to get fucking drone striked. Okay, even if they're living in, slave labor colony Dubai. That is the safe haven for international sex traffickers, gun runners, pedophiles of all different sorts. Of course, God forbid you smoke a joint, though. You will get killed. Okay. Well, not killed, but you will go to prison for a very long time. It's hard for me to defend Dubai. I mean, I probably would defend Saudi Arabia before I could defend Dubai. I'm gonna be honest. I just have so much personal smoke for Dubai. It is literally Arab Israel. It is literally Muslim Israel. It is so fucking unbearable. With one flip of his phone, who took out 34 Shahed drones. I love that this is the video that they chose. I don't know why they chose. It's so based. It's so beast mode. He went beast mode on that fucking phone flip. Wait, what? Trump, in the midst of everything else, is doing a Zoran pose. Oh my God, he knows his approvals are bad. He knows his approvals are bad. I was thinking about this the other day. Zoran Mamdani, genuinely, I mean, look, I talk to a lot of politicians and shit. I think Zoran Mamdani might be the only person in the country that is texting someone like myself and also Donald Trump sometimes at the same time. I don't think there's another person that contains multitudes like Zoran Mamdani. It's ridiculous. But it is funny. It is funny that he's hitting the Zoran post. He's hitting the Zoran post when his approvals are dog shit underwater. Who does he text back first? Oh, Donald Trump, 100%. Donald Trump, absolutely. Meanwhile, a Korean streamer in Dubai reacting to a missile strike, showing a non-influencer reaction. Is that real? I don't know if this is real or not. This is probably fake. Let me hit you with a turbo flashbang of a tweet. Saw this on Reddit, and I swear it's like the Chinese, Singapore, and influencers live in another world entirely. The twin terrorist states of Israel and the U.S. are bombing schools without consequence. And your first thought is, how can I make this a joke about running? Iran this, Israel that. Iran 5 kilometers, and the pain is real. Oh my Lord. As he should, to be honest. No offense, Law. Trump has the chance to ruin the city. Yeah, no, I'm not fucking putting it past them. That's why I said, of course. Zoran has come a long way, embracing, of course, the Declaration of Independence while at the Oval Office. Big progress. I like that the implication here is that Zoran Mamdani was not a fan of the Declaration of Independence until Donald Trump made him a fan. Zoran Mamdani, famously anti-Declaration of Independence, wanted to declare dependence until I came in. Until I did it, Donald J. Trump made him declare independence and like it. Zoran Mamdani, big-time monarchist, folks, believe it. He loved the monarchy. Told me personally, I love the monarch. I love the monarchy. Why is there a curtain? Do they sometimes close it and say, not today? It's probably light pollution and light damage chatter. But I love the idea. Not today. It's sun damage, dude. It's a fucking historic relic. If it's even the real one. They play peekaboo with it. Trump likes to close it sometimes and be like, this one's for me. Not today, my friend. Oh, it's awesome. Like turning your Jesus pictures around. Yeah, I don't want Jesus to see this. Not in front of the... Yeah, when Benjamin Netanyahu was giving him back shots, he was like, I don't want the Declaration of Independence to see this one. Close it off. Shutter the Declaration of Independence. We are no longer independent. We are very dependent on this beautiful day. Is this real? What is this? Oh, God, so much of this is bullshit, dude. I I hate the fucking AI videos. And then every time it's like, Grok, is this real? And Grok is like, yes, it's very real. It's the most real video that has ever existed. Trump is throwing shade on Pahlavi. I saw this. Yeah, I was going to cover this. The most rudderless, anchorless man in America. Reporter, do you think Israel boxed the U.S. into war with Iran? Oh, let's see what Schmuck Schumer had to say about that one.
Do you think Israel, forced the U.S.'s hand here, boxed the U.S. in on this?
Look, no one wants a nuclear war. No one wants a nuclear...
Wait. No one... whoa. I'm sorry, what? Wait, run that back, Chuck? No one was talking about nuclear war.
No one wants a nuclear Israel, but we certainly don't want an endless war, plain and simple. What did I say? Oh, no. Got it. Let me say that again. No one wants an endless war, but we certainly don't want a nuclear Iran. That's for sure.
Bro, his donor's about to crucify him. I mean, who doesn't think Israel has nukes at this point? Like, come on. What is this? This one is definitely real. Crazy footage of an Iranian missile cutting through Israeli air defenses, easily bypassing interceptors and striking a target directly. Keep in mind that these waves are only small and intended to drain the air defenses. What comes later will likely be much more powerful. Oof. I don't know if that one is AI. That might be real, but I don't. I will say, your lawyers work quick. New City Council Ethics Committee voted to charge council member Vicky Palladino for disorderly behavior for repeatedly tweeting Islamophobic remarks. My lawyers send their regards. Oh, someone needs to do a side-by-side with the first tweet, second tweet. That's literally what the fuck that just happened. Making my haters my waiters at the table of success. Quickest pack watch of all time, dude. What the fuck? R.I.P. Bozo. R.I.P. fucking Bozo, dude. What the fuck? Hold on. I gotta play it. I gotta play it. Oh, fuck. I clicked on a CP reel. Fuck. Why won't it play it again? Is your lawyer Lena Khan? Yeah, that's my lawyer. Let's keep you in a good mood. The second global One Piece character popularity vote has started. Have you cast your vote? No, I don't vote. I'm anti-electoralism. You already know. Brother, you have audio only listeners? Okay, I'm obviously joking. Audio only listeners. It was Chris Paul. They've been rabid on the timeline. I know. They've been real mad about fucking Zoran Mamdani existing and being a beacon of light in an otherwise very dark world. Where is it? Did Austinox post something about it? Someone was saying in the chat, it's going to be Tony Chopper at number 1. Fuck you, Hasan, you hater. Okay, calm down. It's objectively, it should be Kuma. Juicer rationalized war with Iran.
Chat, when you are a world superpower and you're a world leader, there has to be a degree of intervention that you have to have, because who the fuck else is going to do what? Bruh. That is my take. At least to some degree, to some issues in the world, superpowers owe it to the world, because it's in my opinion that to become a superpower, you have to fuck a lot of people over. And fair enough, whatever. I guess that's the way of the world, right? Then you have to help people that need the help with the power that you've gained from fucking people over. It's at the very least, man.
Dramatically, tremendously happy this has happened. I know that, obviously I've talked about it for a long time, about how big of a problem.
It's so funny that XQC still tries to do any sort of political commentary. Legion of 14-year-old fans will actively dunk on him and win. Every time he opens his mouth about politics, his entire audience is literally like, isn't that terrorism? War defender, loving war. His legion of like 14-year-old fans will just actively cook his ass every time.
Iran. Then why do you think the fucking U.S. has a bunch of fucking military bases in a bunch of other places? Why do you think yeah, there's a lot of self-interest, right? But also at the same time, they kind of just have to. They're a superpower. Otherwise, if they weren't holding it down, that other people would invade everybody.
He's saying might is right, but using all the Papagon language. He's stretching the Quebecois accent to its limits while basically saying might is right, might is right, might is right. That's it. America gets to do it because it has it. Someone's got to do it. Oh, hell nah. He's losing the apolitical motherfuckers. You can never lose the apolitical motherfuckers. Have to?
And do a bunch of bullshit then. Of course they have to.
L take. So you're okay with China invading America to remove Trump?
Another El Hassan.
Well, I know that you guys as geopolitics.
Another El Hasan. Another El Hasan is on so many politicians to either debate them or promote them. Bro, your biggest debate flex is your divorce in H3. You hate Hasan. Shocker.
You guys as geopolitics. My geopolitics are dogs. I actually don't even know that much. I know for a fact that.
So Hasan is a right-hard superhuman?
If USA was fucking nowhere doing fucking nothing, how many wars do you think would fucking sprout out of fucking nowhere? People would invade and do the wildest shit. Of course. And yes, that's self-fulfilling. It's self-serving in a certain way. But it also helps though. Like how could you not understand this?
Sometimes you say Twitch streamer watching a previously mentioned Twitch streamer fan page clipping a Twitch streamer. Sometimes it's nice for you guys to get a peek of behind the curtain and understand that like the overwhelming majority of people that you encounter on the internet are unironically, sincerely getting their fucking notes from guys like this. Lucky for us, even his audience is like, dude, shut the fuck up. But I need you to understand if you're wondering like how you have encountered a take so unimaginably stupid, right? You're like, how did someone arrive at this conclusion on the internet, right? 90% of content creators that offer any fucking opinions on shit like this are basically, they're operating with this level of knowledge. You're like MAGA cuck lib, all of the wrong takes. You're dumb, but why do we care? Never seen China building military bases around the globe like the US. It's so funny because like I suspect that at this point he has probably purged his community of all like the fucking normal brained like liberals and stuff like that. And even like the apolitical audience that he has remains, or like even the somewhat right-wing adjacent audience that he has is like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Between XQ and Asmongold, these streamers represent the absolute worst society has to offer. The Trump administration has put next to no effort into manufacturing consent for what is blatantly disastrous and horribly unpopular war, yet these two streamers support it just because. Thanks to you, I know 3 things about this guy. Eats toenails, is wrong, Quebecois. It doesn't have to be this way, by the way. It literally does not have to be this way. It straight up does not have to be this way. There's a better way out there. There's a better world out there where XQC didn't become this fucking demon. But, of course, you know, he took the kickback initially and everything else fell by the wayside. If Asmongold isn't banned for this Nazi screen, I'm not spending money on Twitch ever again. It's absurd that a platform would allow this kind of rhetoric to go unchecked. I mean, I don't think there's going to be enough fucking mobilization behind this kind of stuff. Twitch is terrified. No, how are you going to play Hasan, who platforms terrorists? I'm not subscribed to Hasan and haven't been for a long time, lol. He's not going to get banned. Let's be real. And he gets mad when people point out his collab with Trump while he defends Trump in Israel. Yeah, he does get mad about the Trump thing. I've seen that when people keep going, shut the fuck up. Last time you delivered a political take, you actively helped Trump win the election in America. And he's like, oh, I'm Canadian. Bitch, that makes it worse. That literally makes it worse because at least you can like escape to Canada, which ironically enough, Trump is such a demonic entity that like this actually harms regular Canadian existence as well for a multitude of reasons. Number one, when America sneezes, Canada catches a cold. Obviously, it's unfortunately in our ass cheeks. So clearly, we are making decisions that will impact Canadian lives as well. But Trump is also unique in the sense that he's literally talked about annexing Canada. It's crazy. Yeah, this was the one. He said, XQC claps back after constant backlash for supporting Donald Trump during the 2024 election. You caught me, he says.
Mr. Jet, all you guys saying that I wanted this? I wanted none of this. All you guys saying I wanted this? I wanted none of this.
Man, now we're going to war with Iran? Nah, man, I didn't vote for none of this.
You caught me. I went to the booth and I voted Trump. Of course, I did. Dude, I had to. Of course, with my American citizenship. Of course, classic. Of course, I did. Of course, I can't even fucking vote. I'm Canadian, you fucking moron. But I could have just went to LA because I can vote when I voted ID. I voted 12 times.
Oh my God. I didn't even realize he then also follows along with a right-wing conspiracy about illegals voting. How? Where do you get these talking points from? This dude used to be a libtard, man. Not only does this not make any logical sense, it's worse that you're Canadian and you helped Trump get elected, okay? Like, that doesn't take away from the impact. It makes it worse. But then he also packaged this fucking content with he packaged his commentary with a right-wing conspiracy that illegals are voting.
In the fucking LA County. I don't give a shit. Fuck it. I voted 130 times. I don't care. I voted 54,000 times.
Dick riding across the border. Yeah, this isn't the flex he thinks it is. The fact that he couldn't vote makes it much weirder that he was publicly dick riding the guy for almost 2 years, the Canadian. Okay, he didn't have 70 KCCV. Confirmed imagery shows Iran hit the $1 billion radar. Yeah, I know. I covered it earlier. Oh, my Lord. What these guys are doing is fucking crazy. How are the Americans reacting to the 6 killed soldiers? Some are mad, but they haven't really. There hasn't been like a serious opposition that's mounted thus far. There's not like a lot of. There's not a lot of protests or anything like that. There's some here and there, but overall, when it comes to like just expendable soldiers, Americans have grown used to soldiers dying. I mean, think about the global war on terror. Like 6 is not going to cut it. I think it will take a far larger or like some kind of symbolic casualty that would cause Americans to really kick it into high gear and start protesting. Because the reality is, he defended you against a fake socialist charge because of your Dolce & Gabbana chair. Oh, I saw this. Yeah, this was funny. Yeah. Performative socialist HasanAbi has decided to spend his millions of dollars on Dolce & Gabbana gaming chairs rather than helping Palestinian refugees. And then he said, I would dogpile on the shitpost low-key, but DNG have been tapped in for years and they keep close relations with some streamers. I'd say with almost absolute certainty they sent him that chair along with the headset 2 years ago. Source, I got it myself. You got debunked. You got fucking debunked. Bruh. Yeah, you did. You just got debunked, bitch. Get fucked. I think he's doing this to gain some kind of legitimacy though. He's like, oh, I call balls and strikes. Street saying XU got debunked by Jizz. You and XU used to be so cool. What happened? I think I'm not going to get into it. This stuff is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, sweetie. Oh, also, senior Iranian clerics are close to formally anointing Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, killed in a U.S.-supported Israeli attack, as the next leader of Iran. He is the favorite candidate of the IRGC, a powerful arm of the military. Stutter Man at it again. Did you see this? Stutter Man.
Its constitutional role and actually vote to declare war, the way it did with Iraq and Afghanistan.
The last war we've actually declared was World War II.
No, Iraq and Afghanistan, the AUMF.
Afghanistan. Okay, so for me right now, what is it now? The War Powers Resolution, 60 days, and we're 100 hours into this. Now, what's at this point? Yeah, and also, I want to say on this, it's like, we can't keep our government open. We've shut it down.
Yeah. Fucking sucks so bad. Oh, why isn't this guy in a home? Because honestly, he's the perfect American politician, just like an empty vessel. Oh, these are the four U.S. soldiers killed in Kuwait identified. Dude, one of the craziest things that happened that kind of went under the radar is that when these guys died, my favorite politician / ambassador, Mike Huckabee, came out and said, may their memory be a blessing. Isn't that, I thought it was a little strange. That's not, you don't say that for that's not a Christian thing, right? Christians say rest in peace. It's a Jewish expression. I thought that was wild. Yeah, you say that when Jewish people die. I don't know. You say, may God rest your soul, right? Isn't that what you normally say? But Mike Huckabee hit the Jewish practice instead of the normal Christian practice. Are you doing an interview with Zach Polanski? Brother, I think there is a lot going on in the world that my attention is shifted elsewhere. According to the complaint first reported by Larson, the commander said, "Oh, by the way, that's my fucking goat. Jonathan Larson, my former coworker, Jonathan Larson, did some investigative reporting in the news." According to a complaint first reported by Larson, the commander said President Donald Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. This is about the military general that got a fuck ton of complaints because he was just out here talking about like, this is Armageddon. This is the end of the world. We're doing Megiddo. All this stuff. All right, let's move on from this. I haven't even watched the first video yet.
With those flashes of fire overnight, explosions rocked Beirut, expanding this morning to another front with tanks and troops, Israel announcing the deployment of ground forces into southern Lebanon. The U.S.-Israeli war with Iran is now entering its fourth day after that surprise strike Saturday on Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, which also killed dozens of senior Iranian officials. Israel releasing this video of its destruction of what it said was a regime headquarters complex over the weekend, also a main target for the U.S. and Israel missile launchers.
This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the entire...
Dude, every time he's on camera asked about this or has to talk about this, he looks like shit. Okay? Yo, why is Harry Potter from Wish streaming? Where's the Chamber of Secrets at? Hasan looks like Harry Potter Fa. It's terrible, but I'll give it to you. Okay, you fucking boomer. Every time Donald Trump goes on camera to be like, we're striking Iran for Israel. I love Israel. Every fucking time he speaks, he looks like absolute dog shit, dude. He is not having a good time right now. When I heard him earlier this morning talk about like Reza Pahlavi and also about like other options and shit, I was like, damn, I don't know. His posture has changed dramatically. It kind of feels like he wants to pull out, but he's kind of stuck at this very moment. And he's just going further and further into the depths of hell.
Horrible threats posed by this sick and sinister regime.
The battered regime tried to broadcast strength today with this propaganda video of their underground stockpiles of explosive drones. Buildings leveled across Iran amidst clouds of dust. The wounded lay on rubble-clogged streets. Iran state media claiming nearly 800 people were killed in strikes, over 150 of them schoolgirls in a strike on Minab. Their coffins carried through the streets this morning. And in retaliation, Iran firing wave after wave of drones and missiles at 11 countries in the region, including Israel. One missile obliterating this neighborhood near Jerusalem.
The missile impacted about 15-20 yards in that direction, and a combination of debris and a powerful shockwave literally blew this house down. The only thing that's still standing is that wall.
9 were killed, including several in the bomb shelter that collapsed on Mazal Amari.
They died right next to you, the mother and the son?
But I see the mother and the baby on the floor. She's doing like this, and the little boy, a lot of blood in his face. He's 4 years old. And then the mother in the hospital, the grandmother died.
And Iran's primary offensive capability is its missiles.
It is kind of wild that like the only time we see impact sites and like human beings and the human toll of this kind of like bombing incident is if it happens inside of Tel Aviv. Like that's it. Think about how much Israel has done that to the Palestinians.
But officials here tell me that the U.S. and Israel hope to have destroyed about 70% of its missile launchers by the end of the week. The ones that remain are underground and harder to reach, Tony. And that as we are staring down a longer war, I'm told that Iran is preserving.
Do Israel give approval to these strikes? 90%. That was Jerusalem. Sorry. I meant when I say Tel Aviv, I mean inside of Israel.
Preserving some of its missile stockpile because President Trump is talking about a month-long war.
Yeah. Matt, thank you very much. Appreciate it. The barrage of Iranian missile and drone attacks on the Gulf nations is prompting an angry response from their leaders and their people. MTS Tayyab is in one of those countries, Qatar. MTS, good morning to you.
Tony, good morning to you. Well, you could probably hear a Qatari.
I think when they say 70% of the missile stockpiles have been hit, they're lying. Because if that was the case, how the fuck are they still pummeling the Gulf states? How the fuck are they still hitting Israel? You know what I mean?
Military jet just flying above me, and in what has the potential of becoming a major escalation, 6 key Gulf nations are on the verge of ending their...
sorry, 70% of the launchers, not the stockpiles. I think they're just making it up. They're trying to create confidence in their military operation, because they like the only way to fully understand how much success they've actually achieved in terms of deteriorating Iranian capacity would be with the frequency and the impact of the strikes. If there are no more strikes, then you know. If there are significantly less strikes, then you know.
Neutrality in the U.S. and Israel's war against Iran after accusing Tehran of, quote, reckless and indiscriminate attacks on their territories. The aftermath at the U.S. Embassy.
I have not seen an attack personally. I drive all around Qatar. I feel like if there was a hit, people would know about it. No, I'm not talking about Qatar. I'm talking about they have focused their efforts on the UAE, Bahrain, and Kuwait. But as far as like them hitting Israel is what I was talking about. But the launchers that they target are just like single-use trucks, basically. I mean, it'd be probably nice if they didn't. I'm sure from their perspective, they would love to use them multiple times. But for the most part, these are technicals or like somewhat more advanced than technicals. Like they're not taking out the launching platforms for some of the better missile systems. This is so funny. Please speak over diaspora Iranian voices. Never let an Iranian speak over you. Drown out the Iranian voices. Silence Iranian voices. Says Mohammed Margbar America. One of my Iranian voices. I can't believe the White House posted this. Chief, I don't think they hit the destroyer. We'll learn soon enough. I mean, there's also a lot of inconsistency on the supposed claims by CENTCOM. Yeah, U.S. Secretary of War stated this morning. Here, let's take a look at some of the things that they hit in the videos. They're saying this is one of the missile launchers that they blew up. This one is already destroyed. I can't tell if this one's already destroyed as well, but they're expended and also could be a decoy. Is that a decoy or is that... Because sometimes they leave out older equipment or equipment that's been struck already. Or they literally will just like use it one time and then leave it. Yeah, they're used up ones for the ICBM. They've shown 3 different ones being blown up. Again, the only way that you find out, on top of this video on CENTCOM, it seems only one real Shahed 136 in the middle of this video. The rest are cheap decoys, even without winglets. For comparison, first screen with multiple decoys and second screen with a real Shahed. I suspect that with heavy Israeli-U.S. bombardment, the Iranians might be doing this. Learn from last time. Wait for Israel to waste missiles on decoys and come out blazing at Israeli Gulf targets an hour later. Yeah, they have. They also have like older. Holy fuck! Nobody's vaporizing all of Iran's TELs. That's just not happening. They're not sophisticated pieces of hardware. They're literally just trucks. These aren't HIMARS or M270s that need a year-long lead time. They can be fabricated in a garage in a day by 3 incredibly shit-faced people or just one sober dude. On top of that, as others have pointed out, the Chinese automotive market is flush with diesel trucks specifically, especially since China's both moving towards EVs and its infrastructure expansion projects bottomed out, and they're cheap as shit. The delusion that we can just bomb our way through erasing their stockpile of TELs is quite frankly detached from reality. Did you see the U.S. copy of the Shahed drone? Oh, I did, yeah. Locals in Iraq appear to have recovered a crash and almost entirely intact low-cost unmanned combat attack system, Lucas, an American copy of the Iranian Shahed 136 attack drone, which is confirmed to have been used recently by Task Force Scorpion Strike during U.S. attacks on Iran as a part of Operation Epic Fury. Operation Epic Fail, once again, delivering us incredible content. Like, it's either, dude, when do you even tweet? While I'm live. TEL is pronounced TEL, Transporter Erector Launcher. Every rocket they shoot at these drones is so much more expensive. Pretty stupid to admit that, in my honest opinion. Yeah, there's also that. But yeah, when Operation Epic Fail is not, horrifying, when it's not being horrifying with like, slaughtering of children and things like that, it's actually pretty funny in these moments. Operation Epic Chungus, dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that a Starlink panel? Is that a fucking Starlink panel hanging off of it? Oh my God. That's beautiful.
Comedy.
Both sides are using Starlink, by the way. There's 0% chance that the Iranians are using Starlink. I don't think it's Star Shield for the record. Yes, I know. It's Star Shield. I know. Elon Musk has Starlink and then he has Star Shield for non-commercial use for the Defense Department. I know. Lucas drones used by the U.S. in strikes against Iran. The United States has for the first time employed one-way attack drones in combat. They resemble Iran's Shahed 136 and Russia's Garan 2 drones that cost $40,000 each. They feature SpaceX Starlink's terminals and fly at 120 miles per hour. It's funny because, again, even then, this fucking lawnmower is still like double the cost of the Shahed drone. The entire point of the Shahed drones is that it's cheap to make. And when America's making it, it's still double the cost. Incredible. 7 tankers going towards Iraq. 7 U.S. Air Force tankers took off from Tel Aviv and are headed towards Iraq. That's for strike teams, right? I assume. By the way, this is what the Shahed TEL truck looks like. For all the big brains in the replies, this is what a Shahed launcher looks like. An IRBM TEL can fit in. An IRBM TEL can fit in a somewhat larger box truck. As far as I know, we do not have the ability to drop a JDAM on every box truck in all of Iraq, Yemen, Iran, Syria. This has not been thought through. $40K for a weed whacker engine and some fins is insane. The U.S. spends roughly $3 million to shoot down a single Shahed drone. Oh yeah, I mean this part is true. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. I think sometimes he says some kooky shit, but I've seen this video and he's right.
Actually, those nations that are poor actually have more energy. They're more open and they're more cohesive. All right, so let me give an example. This is what we call the Shahed drones. Shahed drones. Each of these drones costs $50,000.
Also not $50,000. It's cheaper than that.
At most, okay? At most. It can go as cheap as $35,000 US. But one of them is $50,000. As you can see, you can fit a lot of these drones to a truck that can go anywhere in Iran. And they can hide anywhere. All right? So the thing to understand is, first of all, these drones are cheap. They're easy to make. They make about 500 a day, okay? And estimates are about there's 80,000 right now that the Iranians have. So they can go on for a long, long time. Okay, and one of these drones, again...
Oh my God, everyone that's excited that I'm finally watching Professor Zhang, I'm familiar with him, okay? I'm familiar with him. I think that he has some good takes, but then he also has a lot of fucking crazy takes, okay? Don't...
Knock out a desalination plant, it can knock out an oil field, it can knock out a hotel, it can do a lot of damage, okay? And it's easily transportable. You can hide it anywhere. You can use it from anywhere, okay? And that's what the Iranians are using as an offensive weapon. And how do the Americans defend against this? They use something called a THAAD, right? Right, guys. This is what they use. THAAD.
That's not true. America does not use THAADs against Shahed drones. That's crazy. That's just incorrect. Tell us about the crazy takes, please. He's just like really invested into like Illuminati shit. Like he constantly goes into the realm of conspiracy.
That stands for Thermal High Altitude Air Defense. And they also have like Patriot systems. There's a lot, okay? The thing that you need to know about the system is it's really expensive. This missile, guys, costs $1 million. $1 million. So there's this $50,000 drone coming your way, and you throw a $1 million missile at it, okay? And often these missiles miss, so you have to throw 2 or 3 missiles at it, okay? So you're spending $2 to $3 million on each $50,000 that the Iranians spend. That's kind of silly. Second thing you'll notice is that this thing is really big and really slow. And therefore, you can't really move it around.
Oh my God, there's so many fucking dumb fucks in my chat testing my goddamn patience. Oh, half of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Like, how can you say Illuminati is fake? Shut the fuck up. Okay? I've been talking about Jeffrey Epstein and you know, the CIA utilization of like international sex trafficking for a decade, okay? If you don't anchor your commentary around materialism, you are going to lead into the realm of unproductive and unhelpful conspiracy. Every single big thinker that at the end of the day is a liberal ends up leaning into the realm of the immaterial, silly-ass bullshit, people operating as a monolithic force, all this stuff, secret societies, blah, 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 blah. Okay? We can't be out here relitigating this over and over again.
Therefore, it's pretty easy for the Iranians to spot where this is and attack it. And then when these things blow up, that's a lot of money, guys. Okay? Then you're like, what? But this makes no sense. You know the Iranians have drones. They've had drones for like 10 years. You've also seen drones used in the Russia-Ukraine war to devastating effect. Why don't the Americans know this?
There are, I mean, the Shahed drones can be taken out with like conventional small arms as well. There's not like, there's anti-drone weapons. Like Ukrainians are pretty, Ukrainians have figured out numerous ways of having to deal directly with Shahed drones. You don't use a THAAD when you're intercepting a Shahed drone. That's crazy. THAADs are for ballistic missiles. That's what THAADs are there for. Even then, even when you're thinking about a ballistic missile coming from Iran, though, in comparison to a THAAD, that there is still a massive cost gap that favors the Iranian side. This is why Iran is able to engage in like these cheap drone swarms, and even they're much cheaper, much more efficient and expendable munition swarms as well. They can just like keep throwing. They can keep throwing cheaper and cheaper missiles directly at the problem and break through the Iron Dome. And it's very cost efficient on their side and very expensive on the Israeli side and on the American side. Yeah, ballistic missiles that cost 1/20th the price of the THAAD, though, and we cannot produce THAADs at nowhere near a rapid pace. I believe the number of THAADs that we produce are like a dozen a year, if Sagar's analysis is correct. I think it was like 14 last year or something. So
the first thing that...
Oh my God, this is real big news from Professor Jiang. He explains how the Muslim world will unite to fight back against the oppressive actions of Israel and the American empire. He details how Muslims will overthrow the corrupt US-backed dictatorships. You know what? Let's hear him out.
What the Iranians want to do is create a jihad to unite all the Shia against the American empire. All right, so what they want to do is create an uprising. And it's already happening, guys. The Shia in Pakistan stormed the American embassy in Pakistan, and the Americans killed a lot of people, okay? The Shia have attacked the American embassy in Iraq. The American embassy are being attacked in a lot of places, right? So the first strategy is to create a international global jihad of the Shia against the American empire. And it's already happening. It will continue for a long time because the Americans have killed the Khamenei. Okay? And that requires vengeance. The other thing, though, is that it can unify the Muslim world. Okay? If you look at this map, most of the Muslim world is actually run by dictatorships that are not popular at all, okay? And they're allowed to exist because of the American empire, right? You go to Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Algeria, these places, they're all run by clients of the American empire.
Okay, there's a lot. So it's funny because like there's a lot more to the Muslim world than the countries that he pointed to. And even then, there's like, he said, these dictatorships are run because America allows them to exist. And then he pointed to Algeria, the famous American-aligned dictatorship in Algeria.
If you rally the people who hate their governments and you overthrow them, then that makes Iran the leader of the Islamic world. Not just the Shia world, but the Islamic world. And this creates something called Pax Islamicized. That is the end goal, guys. Okay? If you do that, then you don't have to worry about the Americans and the Israelis anymore. Right? So the Israeli game plan, the American game plan, is to fracture Iran into, and they'll fight over water for the rest of their lives and they'll all die. The Iranian game plan is to create a religious war, a crusade that unifies the Shia people, that overthrows the American empire and establishes something called the Pax Islamica.
You didn't do the math? Brother, I don't think he did the math either. Listen, I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you guys. This is ridiculous. And it's kind of funny because his position is like supposed to be against American empire, right? So people look at this and they go, wow, what a wonderful analysis. You know, the last time I heard this analysis, it was fucking Glenn Beck. So I feel like I wouldn't put too much weight into this prediction. Maybe he's got some better ones elsewhere. But what the fuck do I know? I do not have a electronic whiteboard, so ain't nobody's calling me Professor Hasan, and my channel is not called Predictive History, it's called HasanAbi. I would interview him, though. I would definitely have a conversation with him. I think he's a very interesting guy. I just don't know if I fully agree with him. I think he's a little bit of a crank.
After being struck by 2 Iranian drones, the empty compound suffered, quote, minor material damage, according to the Saudi Ministry of Defense. It follows a major Iranian attack on the vast Saudi Arabian oil refinery Ras Tanura, the country's largest. Since the start of the U.S. and Israel's war with Iran, Tehran has shocked the region by firing hundreds of missiles and drones at every state, hitting luxury hotels in Dubai.
Oh my God.
Residential areas in Doha, targets in Bahrain and Kuwait, as well as vital seaports and waterways in Oman, forcing airspace closures and grinding trillion-dollar economies to a halt. Iran's aim is to pressure Gulf monarchies to call on Washington and Israel to end the war, but Tehran's calculus appears to be backfiring. For the first time, Qatar's Air Force shot 2 Iranian bombers out of the sky after the world's largest producer of liquid natural gas had to shut down production following an Iranian strike, marking a major escalation. If the UAE and Bahrain, already tied to Israel through the Abraham Accords, were to join, they already have a clear path to security cooperation.
It's so funny when they talk about the Gulf states joining the battle. To do what? America is already there. What are the fucking Gulf states gonna do? Like, no disrespect. You know, Qatar, wonderful place. Loved visiting it. Would love to go back in the future. But, like, they don't have, like a serious standing military. You know, what are they gonna do? Shoot him with oil? Like, yeah, what? No, all they could do is just sit there and absorb the missiles and hope that Iran stops fucking pummeling. The biggest problem is it's the American soldiers that like leave the bases. If they stuck by the bases, which they won't because the bases are unguarded, it would be fine. No missiles be hitting fucking hotels or anything like that or civilian infrastructure. But it's very clear that they're like blowing up specific targets, specifically CIA assets or soldiers that are like making dual use cases out of civilian infrastructure.
But Saudi Arabia has had to deny reports it encouraged the U.S. and Israel to start the war as it continues to grapple with regional pressure and domestic opinion. And while Tehran insists it has no hostility towards the Gulf and is only targeting U.S. assets, it continues to carry out indiscriminate strikes, even at the growing risk of Gulf nations striking back. Tony.
Is it indiscriminate?
MTS, thank you very much.
A drone unfortunately struck a parking lot
Their tiny coffins were piled one on top of another and driven through the centre of the southern Iranian city of Minab in a mass funeral. Iran says more than 180, mostly little girls of primary school age, died with their teachers as they studied. They gathered as far as the eye could see, angry and distraught at such a devastating loss of life in what is the deadliest single incident since hostilities began last Saturday. This was the aftermath of the school attack. Israel says it's not aware of any Israeli or American strikes in the area at the time, but there's been an international outcry that a place of learning has been bombed without accountability. But these are attacks Israel has claimed responsibility for. The fighters are in the sky. They're hitting hard, says an Iranian who filmed the bombardment. Israel says it destroyed the command centre for Iran's entire armed forces as it hit the capital in wave after wave of strikes.
Famously,
Barakella, meaning bravo or well done, he says. Israel's Air Force has also been in action, picking off missile launchers and defence systems from the air. There's already widespread damage, but as Israel and America warned more than 1 million people to leave their homes as it tries to dismantle the regime's infrastructure, there was defiance on the streets.
Curse be upon your ancestors, Trump. The Americans think they can force us to surrender with missiles, but they can't do this kind of things. We will definitely defeat them. We're not afraid of being killed.
Iran isn't done yet. The Fars news agency, which is close to the IRGC, the military defenders of the regime, released this footage, which it says shows huge underground stockpiles of drones and missiles ready to be deployed. We can't independently verify the pictures. We don't know when it was filmed or even if the images are real. What we can say is Iran's propaganda war rages on as Donald Trump doubles down on his campaign from the air. Lisa Holland, Sky News.